If I said barium chloride reacts with sulfuric acid, can you write the equation for that? Barium chloride reacts with sulfuric acid. Right now, I just need you to come up with the reactant. Some of y'all probably know how to write the products for that, and that's great. We'll eventually learn how to do that. But barium chloride, what is that formula? Say again? Close. BaCl2. How come it's BaCl2? Right, because barium's plus 2. It's in group 2, right? Chloride's minus 1, so it's BaCl2 plus, what is the formula for sulfuric acid?
H2SO4.
Sulfuric acid is H2SO4. Right? Y'all knew that? Okay, barium chloride reacts with sulfuric acid. Just to see, does anybody know, can you name the products for that? I just knew you could. I mean, I haven't taught you how to do that. I'm just wondering if y'all remember from high school. It's just me kind of being curious. Okay, what if I told you that the products are barium sulfate and hydrochloric acid? That's your products. Barium sulfate and hydrochloric acid. Okay, real quick, what's barium sulfate's formula? BaSO4. What's the formula for hydrochloric acid? HCl. Now, what do you need to do? You need to balance it. Guys, you've always got to balance an equation. Okay, that's step one, is to balance the equation after you get it written. So, y'all take a second and balance it. Anybody have it balanced? Yeah? Okay, before you tell me what you got, let me give you a hint on balancing some equations, and in particular, you can use this hint on this one. Do y'all see that on the left side, on the reactant side, the sulfur is in the form of sulfate, right? Because here's the sulfur, and it's in the form of sulfate, SO4. On the product side, the sulfur, it's still in the form of sulfate. You with me? So when that happens, sometimes it's easier to balance out sulfates. Don't break it down and balance out just the sulfurs and just the oxygens. If they're only in the form of sulfate, then balance sulfates. You can't always do that. But in this one you can, and it'll make it easier. So what do y'all see is out of balance? The hydrogen and chloride. And lucky for us, they only appear over here in one place, so it's going to be really easy to balance out the hydrogen and chloride, right? And so to balance this one, I simply put a 2 on the HCl, and I have it balanced. How'd you do on that one? Okay, the next topic in Chapter 3 is the mole concept. And some of you guys have heard of a mole before. A chemistry mole is not the little animal that burrows under the ground, right? If I say dozen, what do y'all think of? 12 donuts. Did somebody say donuts?
Somebody said eggs.
Eggs? Okay, yeah. If I say dozen, you think donuts, that's where my mind's going, or you think eggs, right? And everybody in here knows that dozen is 12. Y'all know what a gross is? How many? Y'all have heard of a gross in terms of bottle rockets? Yeah, you get a gross of bottle rockets? No? Never looked at that? 144 is a gross. Okay, you get a gross. You know when you buy the big block of bottle rockets? Huh?
12.
Yes, it's 12. So that's what a gross is. So when I say dozen, that's what we're more familiar with is we know that's 12. A gross, now you know you get them in bottle rockets, that's 144. Well, for chemistry, a mole of anything is a certain number of those things. Do any of y'all know what that number is? A mole, it's not equal to 12 and it's not equal to 144. It's a lot bigger than that. A mole is, you're itching to say it, Daniel.
6.626 times 10 to the 23rd.
Close. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Okay, so that's a mole of anything. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. That's a big number, isn't it? What is that times 10 to the 23rd? What does that mean we do with a decimal? Move it 23 places to the right, doesn't it? Okay, so that's a really big number. Remember last time when we looked at the periodic table and we did the atomic masses and we said like an atom of lithium is 6.941 atomic mass units, 6.941 AMUs. Well, those numbers on the periodic table, they also count for a mole. So a mole of lithium, a mole of Li, is how many Li atoms? Well, it's 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd lithium atoms. Well, what is that? 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd lithium atoms. It's that same number from the periodic table, y'all, that 6.941, except it's in terms of grams. 6.941 grams. So do you see that these three things are equivalent to each other? A mole of lithium is this many lithium atoms. That would be 6.941 grams. A mole of lithium is this many grams. It's just like saying a yard, 1 yard is 36 inches is equal to 3 feet, right? So isn't a yard also equal to 3 feet? Okay, so they're all equal to each other. So now let's think about that question I just asked you. I said, could you drink a mole of water molecules in a day? Well, a mole of water, how many water molecules is that? Isn't that 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd water molecules? Yes, it is. How many grams of water would that be? A little bit more. A little bit more.
18.
How many grams, you're right, how many grams of water would that be? Well, don't I have 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen in water? And according to the periodic table, 1 oxygen has a mass of what? 16 grams. 1 hydrogen has a mass of 1.01 grams, but I have 2 hydrogens. Is this sounding familiar to what we did last week? Where I just take the numbers, the mass numbers from the periodic table, multiply them by however many I have in the formula, and I add them up. It's just last week we were working in terms of AMUs, atomic mass unit, but this week we're working in terms of moles and grams. So a mole of water, do you guys see that that would be 18.02 grams of water? Do you? Yes or no? Yeah? 18 grams of water. Now, how much is 18 grams of water? Well, do y'all remember what the density of water is? 1 gram per milliliter. Density of water at room temperature is 1 gram per milliliter. So, if I have 18 grams of water, how much water is that? Isn't that 18.02 milliliters of water? Are y'all following me? Yeah? Okay, could you drink 18 milliliters of water?
Yeah.
Yes. Could you drink a mole? What if I said a mole of calcium carbonate? Do y'all know what the formula for calcium carbonate is? CaCO3. A mole of calcium carbonate. Have y'all heard of calcium carbonate before? Yeah, that's chalk. Remember you used it in lab? last week? You added that hydrochloric acid to it and it bubbled and fizzed and you got rid of it. Can you tell me how many molecules of calcium carbonate I would have? Not asking for a mass, guys. I said molecules. Yep, that'd be 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules.
So moles measure molecules?
Moles in molecules, there's a direct correlation. A mole of anything is exactly that many molecules. All right, now could you tell me how many grams that is? That might take a second. Should add up to be 100.09 grams. Is that what y'all have? Okay. Calculate okay, guys, I'm trying to get from grams to a number of something. Grams that is. Okay. I'm going to have to just not record because it keeps losing the connection.